Hello, everybody, and welcome to this amazing event that I have prepared for you. First, I am taking this very at the bottom of my heart to deliver everything that I have promised to show you the power you can get from not only coaching, but specifically positive intelligence, which is a framework, another tool I've been learning and implementing with my coaching clients over the past few months up to a year. I came across this process with a reference from a fellow coach, but I saw how this has in great opportunities in many different levels, from the individual parenting. I'm going to talk about kids, and I'm going to use examples specifically with my own family as a reference. I'm also gonna share with you the opportunity there is in positive intelligence as the level of teams for those holding leadership opportunities or are interested in getting into leadership, how this framework can be utilized also in and improve the efficiency and the cohesion of teamwork. I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about me. My name is Miguel Villagra. I'm an internal medicine physician, and I'm an entrepreneur, and a real estate investor. I'm a certified physician life coach, and now I'm also a positive intelligent coach. I have held different leadership roles among my career. I have mentored physicians over the course of years, and I decided to do it in a more formal way over the past few years formally when I decided to found my company, Adoctorsjourney LLC. And you can check my website at adoctorsjourney.com, where I have a written blog post. And in addition to that, I'm also have a YouTube pod that I recently launched. I've been connecting, coaching physicians struggling with burnout and interested on doing a career pivot. And therefore, I have done a lot of career transition coaching over the past 6 months through a year. I really said that I've been able to get to a point of content about my career, my businesses, and what I will describe as a life integration, life work business integration. And this is one of the things that I want to share with you today. As I was saying, there are multiple reasons why I'm doing this. The most important one is that I have decided to take this purpose and mission of uplifting and empowering physicians to go through the challenge of life, parenting, or career and get them from where they are to the next level that they can achieve and accomplish. And the way I see coaching is from an holistic perspective. There are multiple ways you can utilize coaching for any struggles on your life. And I'm going to say in general, from the holistic point of view, it can help you have that accountability partner, have that safe space for sharing, but more important, work on your mindset and at the same time work on your strategies that you can implement on your life, business, and career. I am part of a large network of coaches and physicians, entrepreneurs that are in different fields of medicine. And I'm going to share a little bit how specifically my framework has been and how my physician, coach, and entrepreneur persona has been evolving, not for a sense of comparing yourself with me or me comparing myself with you, because remember, comparison is the thief of joy. That was said by Leonore Roosevelt. But rather, from a sense of curiosity, from a perspective of what can I learn from this person and his journey. Believe me, the power of networking has been crucial for my success in my career and business. I cannot ignore the fact that nearly 50% of you, more than that, probably 68 to nearly 70%, are experiencing symptoms of burnout. And I do have a burnout calculator in my website for those that are interested. And you can go over a few questions and see the degree of burnout that you have. The more burnout you are, the more help you need to seek. And as we know, there are multiple reasons why this is happening. Some of these things are beyond our control. We have a very inefficient healthcare system, and I'm going to sideway into innovation in a moment so you can see how things are playing out. And I will say to our own advantages. But for the time being, just focus on the fact that the more burnout you are, the more help you will need. I have done questions and questionnaires in different speaker events because that's one of my side gigs. I do speaking events for different platforms. When I do these questions, I would say that if I give 7 symptoms of burnout, nearly at least a quarter will have 6 or 7. That's severe burnout, and nearly 50% or so will be around 4 to 5 of those 7 symptoms that I present. Nurses are also burnout, but this is the part where I've been focusing over the past few months through a year, because a lot of physicians that I was coaching, they were coming to me, they were getting uplifted, empowered, and inspired, but they were like, what is going to go next? And by all means, I'm not advocating people to leave medicine, even though I was in a position of I want to leave medicine altogether at once in the past. But I do think that sometimes you need to understand the options you have available for your career. When you do an intentional design of your career, you can be more successful in finding opportunities that are more aligned with your interests and value. But a lot of times people just don't know what they want, and it's hard to get something you still don't know. I always say you don't know what you don't know, and I think that's one of the advantages of having this conversation, this venue, when I'm sharing with you this journey. But at the same time, when you do more coaching and group coaching or one-to-one coaching, you get to this point of clarity where you said, listen, I know what I want to do next. And that's the first step toward meaningful change. But what I see is the opposite. I saw a lot of inaction. People is suffering, they don't feel well, they don't like what they're doing, and yet they're not making any meaningful change. And I can give you multiple examples throughout the presentation. If somebody has questions, I can go more deeper with my experience with my clients, cannot disclose name or specialties just for the sake of privacy, but I can tell you, I have came across physicians that have been practicing for 8 years, 10 years, even 12 years on the same job, completely dissatisfied. They know something needs to change, but they never pursue that change. This is the invitation I have today. Growing is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Having this shift from a victimhood and a fixed mindset to a grow, empowering mindset, that's something you can do no matter what you do or where you are and what stage of your career you are. You can do it regardless. That's one of the invitations I have for you today. The second thing I see is, again, going back to people for years doing all this and not enjoying their career. The Einstein definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again while expecting different results. Sometimes things need to change. Believe me, sometimes that implies getting a new job, a new position, or escalating on your job, or cut down on your shifts, or pursuing other venues. But sometimes it's just about spending some time on yourself, gaining that insightfulness, that clarity. I truly believe that self-awareness is the key for meaningful change. The second side of the coin is I see people that is getting in different groups and venue, but they get into the comprehension trap. They feel they know something, but they fail to implement it. And I was coaching lately in one event that repeats every year, very successful. A lot of physician entrepreneurs were there sharing their story, empowering and uplifting people. That's how I felt. But while I was coaching one-to-one in a small group, I saw a lot of physicians that have been running through these events multiple years, and yet they have not done or take any meaningful action yet. That's one of the things I see a lot, and that's what I like. One of the things that I work with coaching clients and with myself is the fact that it's not just about gaining clarity. Along with that, is making decisions. Be decisive is necessary when you're planning on changing something on your life. There are four freedoms that are defined by Don Sullivan in his book, The Gap in the Game. We have freedom of time, we have freedom of relationship, we have freedom of purpose, and we have freedom of money. Those are the four freedoms that we should be striving for. I reframe a little bit this, and I said that there are four conditions that any individual needs, no matter what their career, that will be necessary at a given time for them to be fulfilled. That's something I always go over you, and I want you to reflect on where you are on this. One, career. Professional, of course, you need to have a journey, a plan, a design plan of what you want, where you are, and where you're going. I think this goes alongside with purpose, because the stronger your why you're doing something, the more easy it's going to be for you to navigate the challenge of your journey. The second thing is personal, which to me, I connected with time. So each time, having more time, we all have 60 seconds in a minute, right? 60 minutes in an hour. The question is how you're going to use it. And I truly believe that having time for you is necessary. Believe me, that solo time that I've been able to design for myself, even if it's a short period of time, because I know I have small kids, sometimes it's hard, but if you give yourself at least that 5, 10, 15 minutes a day just to reflect on your journey and what you're doing and where you are, that could be very empowering. Relationships are necessary. In general, I think that social connectedness is crucial more when you're working in teams, but that goes beyond that. And finally, finances. In 2017, I fired 2 of my financial advisors that were not doing that much to my advantage on their recommendations, and decided to take full ownership of my investment plan. That's what I've been doing ever since. I have grown my wealth tremendously ever since. It's been just mind-blowing how not my money, but my wealth in general has been exponentially double over that short period of time, just for me learning about what to do, where to invest, and who to invest with. Remember, if you don't make priority your life, somebody else is going to do it. Do never forget that. There's such a thing of work-life balance. I don't believe in that. That doesn't exist on our career. We are so rooted into our physician's workflow, and that is impossible to separate it. Therefore, I'd rather call it work-life integration. And in this case, for me, has been now work-life business integration with all these different entrepreneurs. At this point in my life, I have founded 4 different businesses, and I am very excited to see that the growth that I have is been very uplifting for me in my personal journey. I was going to share with you how my journey was going to look like, and this is what happened. Back in 2017, I was extremely burned out. I was dissatisfied with my career. I was at the peak of my job as a medical director, regional medical director. I was leading a team of 50 FTEs between physicians and nurse practitioners in the hospital, and yet I was getting offers to even go higher on the corporate ladder. But my quality of life was really bad, because going back to those priorities, I was ignoring my relationship. I was ignoring my finances to some extent, because I was deploying all these decisions into somebody else that was doing it for me. I didn't do the due diligence to determine that was the right person to manage my money. But also, more important than that was the fact that I was not paying attention to my family. That led me to be extremely burned out and decided to leave the corporate. So I pivoted. I went back to clinical medicine. I sidewalked into telemedicine. I was doing all my investment journey. And that's what I entertain entrepreneurship. In the midst of these parties, when I found coaching, and having a coach has been extremely empowering and uplifting and useful. I have so many different coaches, physicians and non-physicians at this point too. I have learned a lot, and I have coached physicians, and I also have coached non-physicians too. Right now in my coaching program, I have physicians looking for career changes, but I also have physicians entrepreneurs that are pursuing other endeavors already. They're building businesses, they want to grow their company, they're starting startups, and all this has been mind-blowing, because that's how can I cross healthcare innovation. That's going to be the secret sauce I'm going to share with you, because I think that through innovation is the future where we can change and build the new healthcare system. As a matter of fact, right now, as we speak, I am an advisor of 2 different healthcare startups. I'm investing in 2 other healthcare startups. I truly believe in what they're doing, and I think that it's going to make us more efficient and improving or deploying artificial intelligence into our workflow to improve documentation and improve billing. I think that the future is near for a lot of us. Right now, I'm going to this cycle where now I am trying to work on companies that will improve burnout. So you see how life is in cycles, right? From being here, now I'm trying to come with solutions for this problem. I'm an advocacy for physicians, for Hispanic population in specific, and that has been a mind-blowing journey for me. Only 1 in 5 people age 12 to 26 have a clear vision of where they want to go. And 80% of all people in all ages don't really even know what they want or they're passionate about. That's one of the things that I would encourage you today. If you're going to get one concept that I'm going to give you, and we're going to talk briefly into mental fitness in a sec, it's going to be this. And sometimes you need to gain that clarity on what you want to do with your life, what you like or dislike. That's what I love about the power of awareness, but more important, and questioning. Those are questions that are very challenging. And I do these questions sometimes in my first or second journey with a one-to-one coaching client, how they want to design this career that they want to pursue, and they will be satisfied and content with it. Mental fitness is not other than your capacity to respond to life challenge with a positive rather than negative mindset. It's just very simple. The all age concept of your mind could be your biggest friend, but it's also your greatest enemy. You determine which one is going to be. I remember back in 2017, my mind was my greatest enemy. I was not ready for what I was pursuing. And there's no maybes at this point. I'm not going to think that if I had been in this mental state, maybe things might have been different as far as my corporate journey at the time. Interesting enough, right now, I've been reignited. I'm doing 2 leadership programs, and I am escalated also in one of the companies I'm working for, hospital medicine. I'm doing an MBA. So I'm actually getting back to that, but I'm coming from a different perspective and different mindset and an eagle view of healthcare in a way that I didn't have before. It can improve peak performance, peace of mind and wellness, and improve your health and give your health relationship. There's a lot of research about positive intelligence. That's what I decided to adopt this framework, because it's been studied in people from middle schoolers through CEOs of 500 Fortune company. There's a lot of backup research that has shown and proved how important this framework might be for people. I'm going to tell you exactly how this works step by step, but in general, I think that is, to me, encompass a lot of different tools into one single one called positive intelligence. Let's just stop for a second and think about negative emotion, right? I always said in life coaching, life is 50-50, right? 50% positive, 50% negative. People want to be 90% positive, 10% negative. And when they don't have that, they start doing something called buffering, right? They buffer with social media, with alcohol, with drugs, with TV, because they want to just numb their brains from the reality of facing their own challenges with their emotional state and so on and so forth. So now, on the flip side, I must say, though, that even though negative emotions to me are a good warning sign, which I ignore for a long time on this journey of burnout back in 2017, the problem and the issue is when you stay in this negative state. And it's good to be using these negatives as an alert signs of something needs to change, right? We don't know maybe what that is, but you will find out if you get the right. But the flip side, if you stay in that negative state, that's when in positive intelligence you go to a saboteur mode. That's the thing that we want to avoid, or at least keep in check. I'm going to tell you the ratio positive, negative that is backed up by research, which is the ideal for you to continue to grow. We all have this persona. It's called the judge. The people that has going through the program with me, they know that we like to put a name for the judge. My judge is called the Terminator, because it's no mercy, kill them all kind of thing. It's as bad as it was, and that judge was super loud back in 2017. And now I still have it, okay? The Terminator is around my life, but his voice has tuned down. And the sage, which is my inner wisdom, has increased dramatically in this process. What the judge does, finds faults in self, others, or your circumstances, cause a lot of disappointment, anger, regret, guilt, shame, and anxiety. There are 9 accomplices of the saboteur, and I'm not gonna go in detail over those. I'm gonna give you just one single example, but you will get a document after this meeting with a PDF file that is go in detail about those 9 accomplished saboteurs, those that were able to get the test before this event, or you can still do it afterward. You will detect what are the top 3 saboteurs you have. The judge in general, as I said, will find faults in self and others, and it always the thoughts it have is what is wrong with me, what is wrong with you, and what is wrong with the world and my circumstances. A lot of guilt, regret, and shame. The strength of the saboteur depends on the individual. That's what I like to do, the saboteur assessment, because it's a more objective evaluation of where you are. What are your biggest enemies? Because if you don't know your enemy, there's no way to overcome and fight back. Now, I love the concept built into Brené Brown. She wrote the book, The Atlas of the Heart, about emotional granularity. I'm going to tell you that there are 3,000 descriptions of emotions in English literature to describe emotions. It's backed up by research that by knowing at least 27 to 30 emotions is when you find the full expressions of your emotional state. But interesting, when you do surveys, you found that most people will be close to just 3. It's either you are happy, you are sad, or you are anger. Those are the 3 most common ones. That's it. And once again, 27 to 30 are needed to feel the whole expression of it. This is one of the things where I have implemented. Look at anger. Anger can have 11 different emotions behind it. And sometimes to find the solution of your anger is to go granular into which one of these 11 possibilities are behind it. Sometimes it takes time and work on your own, work with a coach to get to that level of clarity about what is specifically what is going on with you. I'm going to tell you, I was angry back in 2017. And the main reason why I was angry is because I was disappointed on myself for not being able to cope with the pressure that I was going through. At the time, I thought I'm just angry. That's my emotion. But in reality, I was just disappointed with me. Going back to the judge, the judge was so loud that was judging me. You are a failure, right? Because you are not able to cope with this level of pressure you were going through at the time. So right now, going to emotional granularity, I want you to do this quick exercise. We're going to spend just 30 seconds on it. I want you to close your eyes for a second. Take a deep breath. Do it again. One more. And now think about the top 3 emotions you have or feel or experience over the past week or 2, past week or month. Don't think too much. Whatever your body's telling you, just think about those 3 emotions. You can write it down or you can keep it on your brain. The exercise I want you can open your eyes is to go back and see how can you describe this negative emotion, and then see what are the top 3 positive emotions that you experience the most. This is just a simple exercise of emotional granularity. My coaching practice, I do have a long list of emotions and we keep track of it. Now I'm using an app that any of you can utilize. How I feel is free. You know that now even Apple has their own emotional journal. The idea here is just to keep track of your emotional state and how it's changing over time. I told you about the positive negative ratio, and what is being shown by research is the ideal emotional state that you should be striving for is 75% positive and 25% negative. What can you do? You have this loud judge that is judging you, your circumstance, and others. So you either weaken your saboteurs, you make it weaker. I have gone through that. You strengthen your PQ brain through exercise. That's part of the positive intelligence framework, and everything is coming through an app that I've been using for the past year and a half, or strengthen your sage. This is a process, but you try to do all at the same time. Right now, I'm the stage of mostly strengthening the sage and give me to this level of ongoing immediate clarity where I can invoke all this positivity and bring it to the table wherever I go and whoever I'm speaking with. Now, the challenge again is how you're going to grow these mental muscles, right? The first is knowing who they are. And this is an example of the positive intelligence score that you can get to it. This is just an example, and you're going to get a PDF file going into more details. I'm just going to share with you the stickler. Perfectionism and a need for order and organization is taken to the extreme. That's the typical stickler. It's one of the 9 versions of your judge. You are punctual, methodical, can be irritable, tense, opinionated, and sarcastic, highly critical of self and others, strong need for self-control, highly sensitive to criticism. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I know the right way. If you can do it perfectly, don't do it at all. Others too often have lax standards. I need to be more organized. I hate mistakes. I mentioned in that positive intelligence and parenting, right? This is my daughter. She's 13 years old. You can do this test on your kids. At least research is 12 and above. I did it in my younger daughter, she's 11. But the point being, we're working together to where she's a high achiever. A lot of physicians are high achiever, but she's more stickler than a high achiever. And knowing that has been built her this self-awareness, because the issue with her is she was having struggle working with teams. She was ended up leading the team or taking over and micromanaging any team because they were dread by her. She's in a gifted program. She wants to go to Stanford. She's again a hyperachiever, but that's what's causing issues with her in the way she was working in teams. And teamwork is necessary for a lot of things. She is planning on doing some type of work that will require her to build more social skills and more able to work with other people. This has been very insightful for her. Now, it's all about perspective now. I don't know if you have heard the story of the 4 blind men and the elephant, but it goes like this. There were 4 blind men coming into this place, and there is an elephant there. One of them comes in front of them and grabbed the elephant by the trunk. He said, "Listen, this is a huge snake." The second one comes behind and grabbed the elephant by the leg and said, "Listen, you're wrong. This is a tree. Look how rooted it is into the ground." The third one comes in and tried to push the elephant by his body. And when he cannot do it, he said, "Listen, you guys are crazy. This is a wall. We cannot move it." The last one comes behind and touched the elephant by the tail. And he said, "No, guys, you're totally wrong. This is just a rope." So the message I have, and this is one of the exercises we do together, but I'm sharing with you at this point, a spoiler alert, right? So we won't have to do it if I ended up coaching you at some point in the future. But it's 3 things. Number 1, that is all about your perspective. Whatever you see, the reality as such, is going to become a fulfilling prophecy. But what I've been interested in seeing is the fact that truth and reality even is about perception. You can be seeing the same event in completely different angle, depending on the perspective you're taking and the decisions you're making at a given time. That's crucial to understand, because you always have a choice to see any challenge as potential opportunities. What I've been mind blown by is the fact that as I have been growing, I thought that I was just changing the way rationally how I'm processing things around me. But as I was doing it, I do more research, and that your neural pathways are actually changing. You are not only changing at the physiological level, but also at the anatomical level, which is fascinating. Now, at the same time, again, truth, it has multiple pieces of it, and you cannot always cover everything. That creates opportunity to explore and go more granular on what else this might represent for you and how you can make this worst case scenario into your best case scenario, just changing, shifting perspective. The saboteurs motivates you through negative emotion, and the sage through positive emotion. Your sage is your inner wisdom, is what you want to build. It's built on empathy, curiosity, creativity, passion, and purpose. I feel so mind blown away by sharing that how these have changed my life and my creativity levels. They're anatomically different again. The areas of the brain that get activated are being documented in imaging studies, and they're completely different. Saboteurs might give you success. Some people ask me, my daughter was like, "I need to be like this in order to be successful." You might be successful, but you might not be happy. So the sage instead, it's not about denying things, okay? It's not about denying your reality. It's about shifting perspective and turning things into opportunities for you to grow. Because physicians coming from a negative mindset, a burnout, is going to be hard for them to make the best decision for themselves and their family. That's the very simple and short of it. It can give you highest success by increasing and raising your standard, continue growing, and sustain happiness, which I think is crucial. Again, they live in different areas of your brain. Finally, the sage perspective is just every outcome or circumstance can be turned into a gift and opportunity. So I'm going to give you another exercise. It's called the 3-gift technique. So what you're going to come is you're going to come with a challenge situation or a bad situation you're going through. You're going to write it on the left side in a piece of paper, or you can just think about it. And then you're going to brainstorm at least one thing that you could do to turn these challenges and bad thing into a gift, an opportunity. Time doesn't matter. Okay, even if that includes you need to wait 5 years, 10 years, time doesn't matter. So you can do this later, but I'm just going to share with you that we do this in something called explore. The sage has 5 what I call superpowers, and one of them is explore. You become an anthropologist to get rooted on curiosity into the challenge you're going through. We brainstorm together what are potential options that can allow you to turn these into your best gift and opportunity. And I can share multiple stories that sounds extreme, but I can tell you that you can turn any situation into an opportunity or gift. At the end of the day, when you get to any challenge, whatever perspective is true, the saboteur might give you this is bad, the sage can tell you this is a gift. You know what? Whichever you believe, this is going to become a fulfilling prophecy. So it just depends on you what you're going to decide to do with this situation. I was mentioning that positive intelligence, what I love about it is the possibility and the opportunities that are in the sense of growing. People with higher positive intelligence has noted to have higher salaries. Negotiation help you gain more concessions. Higher PQ has been shown to report fewer sick days and less likely to become burned out, which is crucial for us. There are studies with physicians who have shifted to a higher PQ and make accurate diagnosis 19% faster. It's cool. Students who have shifted to a higher PQ, and I showed this to my daughter, perform significantly better on math tests. Higher PQ in general can enhance immunity, lower level of stress, lower blood pressure, better sleep, and smaller likelihood of having hypertension, diabetes, or stroke. So this is really empowering. So let's do a PQ rep. We have been together for the past 40 minutes, so I want you to close your eyes. I want you to take deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth again. If you can do side breathing, in again, and out, in again, and out. Now I want you to focus on your feet just touching the ground, rooted into the crown of this amazing world, how you are connected to all the energy that is around this powerful world, trying to get connected to it. Let go any thoughts you're having right now. Now focus on your toes. You can wiggle your toes if you have to, but be mindful of the presence of your toes. And imagine all the sensations, all the systems that are involved on you having this amazing sensation of your toes. Now I want you to rub your fingers of your left hands against your thumb. Keep rubbing it and be fascinated by all this sensorial experience. Now I want you to rub your fingers of one hand against the fingers of other hand and be fascinated by what you're feeling. I want you to take another side deep breath, in and out, and you can open your eyes. 2 things about this. I'm grateful for you to do it if you did it. And what I have noticed when I do exercise like this and before getting into my coaching practice has been very uplifting for me, but also very insightful for my clients. I recently was coaching a physician and we did a similar practice and it was fascinating because he told me, listen, I was here to discuss with you and talk about how to deal how angry I am with my wife. But after this short reflection, this short mindful event, what I'm here for is I want to see how I can communicate better with her without judging her. To me, it was like, wow, I was blown away. We haven't even get it started and you're having this level of epiphany already. I was fascinated by just by taking some time to get deep into your inner wisdom. So I highly encourage you to deploy some of these techniques into your life. The Positive Intelligence app gives you multiple exercises that you can utilize It's very simple. If you have negative emotion constantly, you probably are in a saboteur mode. When you are in a saboteur mode, you do some exercise and try to get into a sage perspective. You get to a state of empathy, curiosity, empathy toward yourself, by the way. That's the first step, but also empathy towards other and empathy toward the circumstances you are going through. Curiosity, creativity, and calm. Is it possible to change from negative to positive, from saboteur to sage? Yes, but it depends on how much work you do. This is something that also has been backed up by research. You need to spend at least around 15 minutes a day building your sage muscle for around at least 6 to 8 weeks, at least to gain this level of strength. 75-25% ratio to negative. And some people might ask what happened next. This is an ongoing journey. I went through this once. I'm already through almost 5th cycle, and there are opportunities after that, but at least to set the ground foundation of it. This is the type of journey that we're talking about. That's precisely what the Positive Intelligence program goes through. You're going to have more information about this. This is a description of the week-to-week program. You can have also more information on my website. At this point, I am enrolling on my program, and I want to share with you that I have limited availability of seats, but there still have quite a few. And if you don't have seats available when you get to enroll, you can get into a wait list because we keep enrolling on a monthly basis. I have 2 main offerings. My premium ticket is access to me. I go 150% on my work, energy, and wisdom with you in your journey. It's a 6 weeks, 6 coaching session program. It takes around 6 to 12 weeks to complete, and it's called Revitalize MD. But I also offer, just specifically as a low entry point for those interested with curiosity to get into mental fitness, the Positive Intelligence program only. That's an offering that I have right now at a very discounted price, and you can access that through my website. I'm enrolling for this to getting started for those interested on March 30. I love to set outcomes rather than goals. I want to ask you to get today before this journey and set at least 5 outcomes that you want to accomplish over the next year. I want you to reflect on why this outcome is important for you. You need to be realistic about this, the truth about your current situation, but more important, what are the people and resources that you have available to accomplish this goal. If you can do that exercise and you can send me an email, I'll send my email later. I will be happy to go through it and at least give you some insightful recommendations. Below you see that one of the secret formula that I use for my coaching program, how we change behaviors. And change behaviors is crucial to get you to where you want to be. Of course, I'm telling you everything that I have done and I have get and attract into my life following the law of attraction. But also the list is long on the things that I have to say no to and stop doing. And when you are motivated, that's awesome. When you have ability, but when you have a nudge, like a prompt that can remind you on what to do, when everything happened together, that's when the magic occurs. What I like about the mental fitness and the Positive Intelligence app is that it reminds you of doing this exercise at the time that you feel ready for it. Short exercise, 2 minutes, 3 minutes throughout twice or 3 times a day. Your goal is to get close to 15 minutes a day, which I think that no matter what stage of your career you are, I think that this is definitely feasible. What can I learn from any problem? What is great about what is not perfect yet? What I'm willing to do to make the way I want it, what I'm willing to stop doing to make what I wanted, and how can I enjoy the process? This will be the following things. Once you set these goals or this outcome, just reflect on these questions. It will take you 30 minutes at the longest. I have done it myself, and at this stage, because I do this at least every year, it's taken me well less than that. I'm not going to talk about the Pareto principle due to time and I want to see if anyone has any questions, but this is something I'm planning on doing more events in the future. I'm going to leave you with the invitations to be the best version of yourself. Aim higher. Discover the purpose in your life. Build incantation and morning ritual. That has been a game changer for me. Focus on small improvement every day. You don't need to go from A to Z, a zebra, at once. Go from A to 8.1. Do minimal change. Wake up 15 minutes early every day to at least do some of these exercises, and you will gonna see the power of compounding over time. Approach any task as beginner mindset and celebrate macro wins. Just you being here, and I bet you learn something. But if you implement it, I will give you my greatest compliments for it. I'm gonna finish the event and I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, but before I do that, I'm gonna give you a very special gift for you. This is coaching invitation directly from me. You can take a screenshot of the bar QR code. This goes directly to my calendar, which I don't do anymore. I used to do it when I get started, but now I go through an application process to screen people even before they get to a call with me. But because you are here with me and I'm grateful of you being here and want to deliver as much additional value I can do, you set the appointment. It's directly into my calendar. I can offer you 3 things. We can go over some of the exercise of what you did today. We can do coaching on any struggles you have in your life, and also you can go ahead and make any additional questions you might have. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and I am very grateful for all of you being here, and I hope that I have delivered the value that you were expecting. At this point, I'm ready for any questions you can put in the chat, and I will be more than happy to answer them. Thank you.